trying to get some sleep. I tried to force myself to get some sleep, you know. I really, really tried to get some sleep. I haven't been sleeping right. I think I did get some sleep, but I'm not feeling good. I'm really, really hurting, guys. I'm hurting big time. You know, look, a lot of people just don't understand. They say to me, Apefather, they say, your wife, hey, what's up, Justin? They say your wife had stage 4 cancer. They said for 10 years. They're like, man, she went the distance, and she did. Listen, I'm not saying no. You know what the thing is, unless you live with someone in life, you don't understand. So if you lived with Jennifer, you completely understand, Justin, because you're a great man. You're a great, great human being. I love you, Justin Henry. What's up, Coffee House? But a lot of people don't understand. You don't know how many people argue with me, Justin, over this every single day. Just give me 1 second. Just put a little water on my face. What's up, Coffee House? A lot of people try to make me understand that because my wife had cancer for 10 years, that this was all expected. I shouldn't be shocked about it. I should be grateful that she had the 10 years. Now, I did. I did, to a certain degree, agree with all of those comments because I do understand how serious, there's that expression, serious is cancer. And I do understand that. I do. And I do feel blessed that we had Jennifer for as long as we did. But I still feel shocked. And I'll tell you the reasons why. She was okay. She was more than okay. And cancer didn't even was let me educate all of you. Cancer wasn't even technically the cause of her passing away. Now, it contributed. It was that there's no question about that. Cancer 100% contributed to her passing away because, look, it all started from the brain. The cancer in the brain caused Jennifer to have a difficult time swallowing food and swallowing liquids, which is how she started to get the aspiration pneumonia. So there is a direct connection of how the cancer contributed. But at the end of the day, it was respiratory failure, you know? I mean, isn't that kind of crazy if you think about it? It wasn't even the cancer, technically. It contributed. I mean, obviously, there's no question that it was a major factor in why, because look, it's a strong belief that the cancer in the brain was affecting her mobility, like she couldn't move her legs at the end. This is the thing. This is at the end. It's very important that everybody understands this. At the end, okay? She couldn't move her legs. She couldn't move her toes. She had no strength to move her body. Like she couldn't even move. Like she couldn't do this. Look, she couldn't move her body up like this. She couldn't do that. Let me read what Justin was saying. Justin Henry, my cousin had cancer for 10 years. She passed away a day after my dad passed away. I'm so sorry, brother. Cancer sucks. Cancer sucks. God bless your cousin, Justin. God bless you, my brother. God bless your father. God bless your whole family. But, God bless you. Just getting back to what I was saying. So prior to all of this happening, 2025 was the worst year of my life. 2025 was the worst year of my family's life. Jennifer was 100% herself. I'm talking about on January 7th, it was Sophia's 11th birthday. She was at the party, literally singing to her daughter happy birthday, getting up, hugging her, kissing me, kissing Mike. We had a beautiful dinner. So you have to try to understand how shocking. Literally a few days later, and of course, prior to that, she was always herself. Throughout this whole time with cancer, my wife was always herself. Always loving to her family, always there for her family, the greatest mom, my best friend. I'm sorry, Justin, that your father had cancer. Cancer sucks, man. Cancer sucks. I'm sorry, Justin. I haven't been sleeping right, man. Hey, man, you want to laugh? This is the best sleep I think I got in about a month and a half. So, you know what I mean? This is the best sleep I got in about a month and a half. I haven't been sleeping right. Um, so getting back what I was saying, people don't understand that Jennifer, despite the fact that she had stage 4 cancer, they don't understand that she was like 100%. See, doctors don't understand that. Nurses don't understand that. In a lot of cases, certain family, look, family on my mother's side has been great. My cousin Joe calls me up every day. I mean, he's great. My cousin Joey. And he's just there for us 100%. My best friend, my brother, John, in Brooklyn, forget about it. He has been the best. His family's been the best. I'm so blessed to have John in our lives during this very difficult time. And my cousin Joe and my aunts came over one day. Hopefully they'll come over again. Hopefully they'll come again. But they did come over, my two aunts, my mother's sisters, and they helped us. That's another thing. My mom is not doing well. You know, my mother, my beautiful mother, Josephine, the grandma to Sophia and Mike, their grandma, she came home from rehab, shot. I mean, completely shot on oxygen. I was even shocked of how shot my mother was. She fell in the driveway. I'll definitely, whenever I'm in Ohio, Justin, I'm gonna come over, brother. 100%, man. 100%. When I'm in Ohio, one day, I'm sure I'll make it there one day. But I was shocked that my mom, Josephine, was kind of like making me relive. This is what's crazy. What my wife went through, like before I took my wife to the hospital, she fell in the driveway. She collapsed. When I took my mom home, she collapsed in the driveway too, from rehab the same day. So it's like I'm like kind of like reliving the nightmare. And let me tell you something. When you go through a nightmare one time, it's horrible. But when you have to relive a nightmare 2 times, it's devastating. I just want to be clear to all of you, it's devastating. So it's like you're trying to grieve, It's like you're trying to find the strength. You're like, how can I find the strength to get over the greatest loss of our lives, Jennifer? Marine Park Enzo, I love you, brother. Man, Marine Park, I love you, man. You've always been such a great supporter of me and my family, and it's my brother from Brooklyn here. Um, what can I tell you, man? We got hit hard. We got hit hard, Marine Park Enzo. We got hit hard, man. Matter of fact, if anybody has Cash App, I have to mention this. If someone wants to possibly type this comment out for me. Hold on, let me just. This is our Cash App. It's Richard Lavoie. It's a $. Richard Lavoie. RICHARD Victor OI. Thank you, Marie Parkenzo. I love you, brother. If someone could even type out this comment, that's my Cash App right there. It's the $ Richard Lavoie. RICHARD Victor OI. If someone could just type that out, I'll pin the comment. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Marie Park Enzo and Justin. Thank you both. Thank you to the both of you. I could only pin one message, so just I'll pin Marine Park Enzo's. It's the same thing, Justin. I love you, Justin. Thank you for doing that. Look, how can I explain this to everybody? People keep asking me, Apefather, why do you keep promoting your Cash App? Okay. I'm going to be honest with all of you. I'm going to tell all of you the truth. Okay. When my wife was alive, unfortunately, my financial troubles were starting because of a stupid decision I made. And that's on me. Okay. That is on me, which was AMC. Like I put hundreds and hundreds of thousands in AMC and I lost it. Okay. So nobody's fault. That's my fault. Yes, Justin, I love you, brother. Thank you for that. Hey, Lacey, God bless you, Lacey. How you doing? Lacey's going through a lot in her life as well. Lacey from Brooklyn. We love Lacey. Um, so my financial troubles started back then. This is when my wife was alive and my mother was doing well. That was my fault. That was just something stupid. I went all in on a stock, one stock. I did all the dumbest things in the world you could do. You never go all in on one stock. I went all in, and the only person I have to blame for that is me. No one else. That's completely my fault. I take full responsibility. I love you. I love you, Lacey. But when my wife, unfortunately, got sick, okay, now let's putting aside for a second the emotional trauma of just your wife being sick and being in a hospital and not doing well, having aspiration pneumonia, having cancer, and they weren't treating her for the cancer at the hospital. They were just like, the cancer spread too much. It's terrible. I couldn't get them to treat it for the cancer. I was like, treat it. They're like, we can't. It spread too. What do you mean you can't? What do you mean you can't? Treat her. But it's like in this country, I love America. Look, greatest country in the world. I'm proud to be an American, but not when you're critically ill. Seems like when you're critically ill, they just write you off, man. They write you off. I hope no one ever has to go through that, but they just don't want to treat you no more. Everything becomes what's called comfort care. That's it. Like you get to a certain part of your health where it's no longer about saving your life. That's it. It's about transitioning you to pass away in a calm, peaceful, comfortable manner. That's it. I think that's crazy, if you want me to tell you the truth, because it's all about a person's situation. That's the thing. Like a person's 90 years old, let's just say, you know what I mean? And that's it. They live their lives, God bless. And now they're very, very sick and they want just to, they want their pain and their suffering to go away. Yeah. I can see how hospice, I can see how comfort care makes a lot of sense. Doctors do suck, but not when you're 46 years old. Okay. Not when you're 46, not when you have two children. Okay. Sophie who's 11, Michael who's 14. There's no, forget about comfort care. You got to do everything in your power to save that girl. You got to do everything in your power to save her. 46 years old? Nah. But you see, but they don't. They don't. They just, that's it. They say, no, that's it. Let's transition her into hospice. It's been like that since day one. Since the first day I brought her to the hospital. That's why I don't know if any of you even know this. I actually winded up taking her out of the hospital. I think it was like the third day. I signed her out against medical advice. I said, I just want to get her out of here. I want to bring her home. See, the mistake that I made when I did that, and this is the one thing I regret, okay, was that at the time, she wasn't doing that bad. Like, this was only day 3 when she was in the hospital. So she was still talking at this point. She was walking at this point. She was on very, very minimal oxygen. She wasn't on a lot of oxygen. And see, now I'm getting experienced with pneumonia. I hate to say it. I've seen my wife deal with pneumonia. I've seen my mother deal with pneumonia. And, you have to be on oxygen when you're on pneumonia. You can't even, like my mother can't, she's downstairs right now on oxygen. If you take if you take the oxygen off of them, it's like they instantly get completely weak. They get shot, fatigue. They don't talk right. They don't act. I didn't know all of this. To my defense, if I could just make a defense for myself, you did it to your grandmother too. You signed the route, Justin. God bless your grandma. Great. Me and Jess have a lot in common. But so when I signed my wife out, That day, I signed her out in a very premature way. Again, I just want to be clear to all of you. This was only day 3. I didn't know how sick she was. I didn't know how severe pneumonia was. I never experienced this before. So when I signed her out, she didn't have oxygen at home. And what happens is that when your body is not getting oxygen or sufficient oxygen, you get very, very messed up, man. You get weak, you know, you get like confused, you start making no sense. You're not talking coherently. Pneumonia might even be more serious than cancer. Like I said, at the end of the day, my wife didn't pass away from cancer. My wife didn't pass away. I mean, it contributed. It was a major, major contributing factor to it, of course. But it was really respiratory due to pneumonia. So the mistake that I made looking back was when I signed my wife out. I should have set her up. I should have had a hospital bed. I could have did all of this too. That's my regret. Is I could have had a hospital bed for her. I could have had oxygen. Listen, which is kind of in a way what I'm doing with my mom. My mom's came home, and in her case, I have oxygen for her. You know what I mean? So I didn't do that. I did that for my mom, but unfortunately, I should have did that for my wife because when she came home, she was very weak. My wife, and she collapsed. She collapsed in the driveway. And well, I'm just saying, listen, you know what it is, divorce lady. I will say this: there's no way that you can learn life unless you experience things. Here's what I'll say. How can we ever learn something if we're not taught? How can we ever learn something if we don't experience it? You know what I mean? We have to experience things. So I never experienced anything like this in my whole life. I never did. This is the first for me. You know what I mean? And the only thing I knew was that my wife was in a hospital and the doctors didn't seem like they wanted to help her. That's all. The only thing I knew, I didn't have the experience, right? I didn't have the life experience of dealing with these matters. Here's all I knew on day 3. They didn't want to help her. That's it. They're like hospice, hospice. I'm like, I just want to take her home. Let me get her out of here. But what I should have did, again, should have, could have, would have, too late, is probably set her up with a hospital bed, oxygen. It wouldn't have saved her life, obviously. Listen, at the end of the day, she probably would have passed anyway. At least she would have been home, though. At least she would have been with her family. And that's really what the plan was. We didn't want her to pass away in the hospital. We didn't want that. It just turned out that way, unfortunately, because her condition started to get like really, really bad. Eventually led to her going on a ventilator. And now you can't take her home no more. I had that one window. And I did it. You know what the crazy thing was? I actually did it. I had the one window. I took her out of the hospital. Um, but she needed oxygen, obviously. I remember where we picked up the kids from school. I had my now I know that, divorce lady. Listen, this is another thing that people tend to do is that, listen, babe, I know that you love me and I love you too, Lacey. And I know that the last thing you want to do is see me blame myself for something that was not my fault. And I get that, but see, when you're a fixer like me, my whole life I've been a fixer. You know what I'm saying? Wait, 1 second. Oh man. When you're a fixer, it's just your natural instincts. You have a natural instinct as a fixer to fix things. That's why that's why they call me the fixer. And that's how I am. I want to fix things. And I couldn't fix this. I tried, I couldn't fix it. I couldn't fix it. But the thing is, as you're going on this path, on this journey, you do learn certain things. You learn, like, again, you learn things, though, that previously you didn't know before. So, in other words, in order for you to learn it, you had to live it. You had to live it. boss lady, me too. I did everything to save your family. I know you did. You're a beautiful person. But this is the thing. There were certain things I've learned as time went on that I didn't know before. You understand? Like, all right, so I'll give you an example. Proton therapy was never mentioned to me. It was never mentioned to me by doctors, nurses, nobody. And this could have been something that could have prolonged my wife's life. It could have actually helped her a lot. Now, doctors cover their asses. I was actually talking to one of the doctor's associates, and they're like, "Oh, we did mention proton therapy to you." They didn't mention it. You see, but now it's going to become hearsay in court if I go down that road. Let's just say if I go down that road for malpractice, right? Okay, you can't win because you know what they'll say. We did mention proton therapy. They'll say it. They didn't mention it. In reality, they didn't mention it. So, like, I'll give you like an example. This is going back when it was Thanksgiving. Okay, it was November. I take my wife to the hospital. This is when she was first diagnosed. They said the cancer spread very extensively in the brain. It's now reached the spinal cord tunnel, the lepto disease. Lepto, MENINGEAL disease. Here's exactly what the piece of shit oncologist, because the surgeon said there's nothing he could do surgically. He says, nothing I could do. The piece of garbage oncologist was like, look, the only thing we could do at this at this point, is whole brain radiation. And they wanted to do the spinal tap chemo. Now, my wife, I just want to be clear, didn't want to do that. She didn't care about the spinal tap, chemotherapy. That she would have did. She responded very well to chemo. But he was like, it's all or nothing. In other words, you can't just pick one treatment. You have to pick both treatments or none at all or nothing, right? So my wife just chose nothing. She did. This is where she needed the treatment. This is where it was vital. It was vital for her to get the treatment. She chose nothing. Now you might say, well, that's on her. It's not on her because she was given wrongful information, in my opinion. Look, how come we asked the doctor, we said, isn't there anything else besides whole brain radiation? Because whole brain radiation leads to dementia. My wife didn't want to do it because her father has dementia. She's like, she's like, the reason I got brain surgery, she said to me, she got brain surgery in January 2024. She's like, it was to regain my memory. It was to regain my memory. It's not to completely lose it. So she goes, I'm not doing whole brain radiation. She goes, look, the doctor basically said to her, trust me, nobody would disagree with me. This is the gold standard of treatment. And she believed him, because the cancer that she ultimately had was so serious. The doctor was explaining it to her. Only 5% of people all over the world that have cancer have the cancer that my wife developed. And again, I believe that all of this links back to surgery. That I am so against surgery for cancer. You have no idea. I am so against it because I watched my wife get in a more deeper bad situation every time she got surgeries. Again, I'm not a doctor. Let me be clear. It's not medical advice. You should always do your own homework, your own due diligence. Don't listen to me. I'm not a doctor. It's not medical advice. But I will tell you this. When my wife got surgery back in 2016, that's when it became stage 4 cancer. That's all I have to say. That's it. Prior to that, it wasn't stage 4. The cancer was contained. It was contained in her breast. It's called DCIS, meaning that it was trapped. It was trapped. When they took off her breast with the surgery, it went right, they exposed the chest wall. It opened up. It went inside of her. I told her not to do it. I was reading article after article after article. I said, don't do the surgery. But she wanted to do it. I supported her. She was scared. I understand. But, I also believe that's what happened in 2024 with the cancer in the brain. I believe that when she got the surgery to remove one of the tumors, some of the cancer spread into her spinal cord tunnel. Because there's no other logical, how did it get to the spinal cord tunnel? There's no other logical explanation, right? It had to stem from the surgery in the brain. So do you see how surgery makes things like even more messed up? It's, again, I'm not a doctor. It's not medical advice, but that's just my opinion. So, but then we get to that point now where she's got the cancer extensive in the brain and she's got the cancer in the spinal cord. What do we do now? So the doctor was like, well, we'll do whole brain radiation. We'll do whole brain. Jennifer said no. She's like, I don't want to do whole brain radiation. Whole brain radiation leads to dementia. I don't want to get dementia. And he agreed. He's like, well, you're right, but in this particular case, that's the only thing we could do. So Jennifer, because of this Mama Luke, because of this Stunad, the stupid doctor, the stupid oncologist, she chose to just go on palliative care at home. Excuse me. Sinuses. God bless. Gesundheit. She chose to go on palliative care. Now, what is palliative care? It's kind of like a form of comfort care. They wooed my wife into that. She was like, look, I'm not going to get whole brain radiation, Rich. I'm not going to do it. So I'll live out. But again, you want to laugh, I'll make everybody, well, this is not really funny, but she still thought, she didn't think that within like what? Within about a month and a half, that she was going to pass away. In her mind, she was still thinking, I'll live out my life maybe for a year or maybe a year, 2 years. I mean, I don't think either one of us understood how serious her condition was. With this lepto disease, without treatment, you could pass away in like a few weeks to a month. We didn't really understand that. It wasn't really explained to us that was the case. It was not explained to us. No one told us. No one told us that without treatment, that you could pass away within a couple of weeks. No one, or a month. No one, and I repeat, said that to us. No one. Obviously, if that was said, I definitely think we would have 100% moved on something. But so she was just under the impression, I'll go home rich. I want to be with the kids. I want to just be with you until the end. I want to be with the children until the end. And she did. She went on palliative care, and for the most part, everything was okay. She was taking, I was given a Tuberac. And it was like shocking. She was telling me, Rich, I know you're not going to believe this. The Tuberac is helping me. She goes, I got no more pains in my head. She was walking around great. She cooked us a beautiful, I'll never forget this. This was like in Christmas time. She made us the most amazing dinner, and she was herself. And she was telling me, she was like, I think the Tuberac is really helping me, Rich. It's really, really helping me. So, what should have been done? And again, I'm not going to go into the could-haves and would-haves and should-haves, but I should have. This is something that I kind of regret. I I I I don't want to blame. It's not my fault. It's nobody's fault. I don't want to blame myself, but all my life I was a guy who did homework. All my life I was a guy who did due diligence. For some reason, I let Jennifer convince me. This is in November, to just go on palliative care. I know she convinced me. It was like, it was just the way she was telling me. She's like, Rich, I don't want to get whole brain radiation. I don't want to do it. It leads to dementia. Honey, please, I just want to do palliative care. I want to go home. They give me my steroids. If I have pain, they give me the oxycodone, the morphine. But she goes, I just want to live out my life with you and the kids. And I reluctantly agreed. I was like, all right, honey, if that's what you want. But what I should have did, I should have been Inspector Gadget like I always been. I should have started doing homework because I found out about proton therapy on my own. And at that particular point, she was a candidate. See, proton therapy, it's an outpatient procedure. You have to be able to walk. You have to be, in good physical, mental shape. You got to be good. And she was. At that particular point, she was walking, talking, eating, functioning. She was 100%, 100% a candidate for proton therapy. And I believe that if she would have got proton therapy, it would have definitely extended her life. It might have even helped her, just regain a lot of the things that she was having trouble with, which was eventually trouble standing up, trouble walking, trouble chewing, trouble eating. Possibly could have helped her with all that. So that was the time to do it, man. It had to be done then, but no one told us. No doctor mentioned it to us. And like I said, they only mentioned whole brain radiation, which Jennifer did not want to do because it leads to major cognitive decline. It goes to, it leads to dementia. Her father has dementia. She didn't want to do it. So, but there was other options. What I'm trying to make everybody understand. Now, I spoke to one of the doctor's associates, and they're like, "Oh, we mentioned proton therapy." I was like, "You never mentioned." This is how these doctors are all pieces of human trash because it's always their word against yours. Remember this. It's always their word against yours. I had no way of knowing about proton therapy. I had to research it myself. Mhm. So technically, because I didn't know about it, it's not my fault, right? I didn't know about proton therapy in November. I knew about it months later. I didn't know. I knew about it in maybe February. That's when I found out about it. So obviously, how could I have helped my wife in November if I didn't know that proton therapy existed until February? But this is called hindsight. Say we look back on things and we say, we wish we would have did in the past what we do now. You know that old expression, if only I knew then what I know now. That's that's an expression that I've been living with my whole life, more than ever now. I could have extended her life. My mom's not doing so great, coffee house. She fell 2 times. She's really not able to move. She's on a recliner. She's on oxygen. She's not doing so good. She's not doing well. We're trying to get her back into rehab right now. I made a few calls. It's just a very horrible situation. Which leads me. Oh, sorry. Just dropped my phone. Which leads me to my Cash App. You know, all I could tell all of you is this. I know everybody's got problems. I know everybody's got their own gotses. But if you could find it in your hearts to help my family during this extremely, extremely difficult time. And a lot of people are like, where does money come into this? Where does money? Okay. I'm still finishing up my wife's funeral expenses. That's going to be done probably by Monday. It's finished now. It's all done. So I can't even believe that I have to cremate my wife. I just can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I just can't believe that none of this is real. I can't accept none of this is real. I feel like I'm living in like the Twilight Zone. I feel like I'm living in an altered reality. The way that my life has changed, my family's life has changed in just basically under 2 months. In under 2 months, my whole life has changed. It is completely, completely devastating. But, my mother's going to need to go into assisted living. Listen, even if she goes into rehab, it's temporary. Assisted living is going to cost my family like $16,000 a month. I'm going to have to figure out a way to do it somehow. That's why I got to keep working hard. I got to keep getting support from everybody. It's just there's a lot of trouble in our family right now. Plus, just to try to get us back on our feet. We need to get back on our feet. When Jennifer went to the hospital, I was her full-time caretaker. I was making like $3,000 a month with that. I lost that income. I don't care about money, but just in terms of the children, that was a big, that hurt us as well. Like we got hurt. Look, the most important thing here is I love Jennifer. I don't care. Let me be clear. I don't care about money. I care about my wife. I care about my mom. Okay, I don't care about money. It's just unfortunate that you need money to do certain things. It's like, that's the thing. This is my job. People ask me, go get a job. This is my job. I'm working. Okay. I hate it when people say that stuff to me. I hate it when people say, go get a job. Look, no matter what job you have, to a certain degree, there's like sales involved. I'll give you an example. If I go out right now and I go get a sales job, any sales job, it's probably going to require me soliciting people. It's probably going to require me, calling up somebody who may or may not be interested in what I have to offer, right? A lot of people may get agitated. You know how you get agitated by a telemarketer or you get agitated by a salesman. Now, they might insult me too, right? They might say, I'm not interested in your stupid product. I'm not interested in your stupid service. Take my name off your effing list. Go home and get your shine box. Why don't you go get a real job? Okay, they'll say to me. Why don't you? People have said this to me when I was in sales my whole life. They say, why don't you get a job where you're not like freaking annoying people? Okay, you stupid Mama Luke salespeople. They didn't use the word Mama Luke. That's my word. That's it's an Italian thing. But you see, this was they think. Look, you can't make everybody happy in this world. Understand that. I'm a YouTuber. This is a job. But people are going to still, there's some people say, well, I don't consider it a job, but it is a job. It doesn't matter what you consider. You could consider whatever you want to consider. This is a job, and I'm working. So, regardless of how you feel, regardless of your opinion, everybody has opinions. It's like a-holes. Everyone's got one. This is a job. Hold on. And as you all know, I'm a piano player. I'm going to be doing some music right now. All piano players get what's called entertainment tips, right? Isn't that a standard thing? You go to a piano bar, there's a piano player playing, and you throw some money in his tip jar. That's what my Cash App is. My Cash App is, in essence, my tip jar. Okay, it's the $ Richard Lavoie, and you could use my tip jar to help my family in our greatest time of need. I mean, we just lost my wife, Jennifer. Now we got to cremate my wife. We have funeral services. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. Has to get done, but I don't want to think about it. You got a situation where my mother's not doing well with her health. She's not. She fell 2 times. She's on oxygen. Financial difficulties, emotional difficulties. We're in a lot of trouble. So that's why we really need our support system, our family of our YouTube community to come through for us. Break on through to the other side. No, all jokes aside, we really need support. And I always tell people, if someone could just do a small little $25 Cash App, if enough people did that, it could help us with everything, the funeral expenses. It could help us with my mother's rehab. It could help us with getting us back on track in our lives, for me and the kids and for our family. So just a small little Cash App, if enough people did it, it could really help us. So anyway, the Cash App is also pinned. If you see the comment on the bottom, Marine Park Enzo. I pinned it. It's the $ Richard Lavoie. That is my Cash App. There is no space, no underscore in between my first and last name. So it's the Cash App is the $ Richard, RICHARDLE, as in Victor, OI. That's the Cash App. For people who don't have Cash App, it's a very easy app to install. You should try it. It's a great. I love it, man. I love it. Cash App allows you to do so many different things too. You can buy Bitcoin. It's not financial advice, I'm just saying, but you can do it on the app. You can buy stocks. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can send money to your friends and family, receive money. It's just got so many different options. You can pay your taxes. And Cash App is a really cool app. I like it. I recommend it. I'm just saying that it's just easy to use. Again, not financial advice. I'm not talking about any stocks or crypto. You got to do your own homework. You got to do your own due diligence if you ever want to make investments. So I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a financial advisor. But I like Cash App. I think Cash App is cool. But with that said, starting to get tired again. I feel like I could never get sufficient sleep. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but I just constantly feel tired. Maybe it's just stress. I don't know. Constantly tired, man. Just going through a rough time, Going through a rough time. I just hung up. I just don't know how I'm gonna get through this stuff. I'm being strong for the kids. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows I'm being strong every day for my kids. Magnesium and vitamin D will help you get better rest. Yeah, I got some magnesium the other day and vitamin D. I'll look into the. Thank you, Lacey. Lacey, my whole life has changed now. I'm no longer happy. I mean, I'm happy I have my beautiful children. I love my beautiful children, but without my wife, Lacey, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. It's like every day I'm so lonely. I'm so sad. I'm so emotionally sad. It's just that's it. There's nothing you could do about it. It's just probably going to be the rest of my life now that I don't think I'm ever going to be happy again. I don't know. Maybe years and years from now, but I don't think so. No one could replace Jennifer. Jennifer was one of a kind. She was the best. And what's really sad is, like I said, to not get support from certain family members. Like I said, there are certain family members and certain friends that have been doing great for us, and I love them and appreciate them, but not so much on Jennifer's side. Literally no one. They're just, we were never really close to them, in all honesty and fairness, but we were close to certain members of her family, and they're just not coming through at all. Like, complete disgrace, if you want me to tell you the truth. But not even for my children, forget me, not even for my children. It's really crazy, but we'll leave that for another conversation. Let's do something soft. Peace and serenity. You know, I've never dealt with a hurt like this before. I never did before. I never dealt with a hurt like this. Oh, I never did. I've dealt with I've dealt with death. You know, my father passed away. Um, Very sad situation, but he smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day. My father. It's a lot of cigarettes. You know what I mean? I used to tell him every day, Dad, you gotta stop. 4 packs is too much. You gotta stop smoking. Shouldn't even be smoking 1 pack of cigarettes a day, but 4 packs a day, man. So it was like when he passed away, it wasn't like I'm not trying to be mean. Look, I had a tough childhood. My parents didn't have a good marriage. They had a really bad marriage. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get technical, but I wasn't shocked. You know what I mean? What's up there, Danny? How you doing? Good morning. With Jennifer, it's different. She didn't do anything. Nothing that happened to my wife was her fault. She worked during 9/11. She worked during the 9/11, the attacks on the World Trade Center. We'll never forget that day. My God, we will never forget 9/11. God bless all the families affected. God bless my family. God bless my wife. But that's it. Cancer, she didn't have the cancer gene. The cancer didn't run in her family. It was all environmentally caused, and could try TK, regain your footing and heart, so they are strong for them. Not yet, but you must try. Yeah, you have a lot of stuff, the boss lady. You know about everything. God bless you. Um, like I was saying, it was no fault. It wasn't my wife's fault. My wife was the victim, and so many people, so many families, were victims of 9/11. It's of this terrible, terrible, terrible day. Terrible. And a lot of people passed away that day. A lot of people. And a lot of people passed away years later. And they didn't even realize it years later. But it was all from that day. A lot of people lost their greatest loved ones. I mean, like people that were everything to them, like we did. Listen, I'll tell you a story. I used to go to this pizzeria in 18th Avenue in Brooklyn. I'm not going to tell you the name of the pizzeria just for respect, but we were sitting having a piece of pizza, me and my wife. This was, years ago. And the owner of the pizzeria was crying. And I just went up to him. I was like, Gino. I'm like, Gino, vieni qua, Richie, give me a hug, Richie. And I say, Gino, what's the matter? Why are you crying for Gino? Richie, my daughter died. My daughter passed away. Your daughter? She was so young. She was a young girl, like, 21, 22 years old. So she passed away, Richie. She passed away. I said, what happened? Gino, what happened? God bless. God, my condolences. What happened to your daughter? The World Trade Center, Richie. World Trade 9/11, he says. The building collapsed on his daughter, and so sad. They actually identified her by her finger. Is that crazy for what I was told? Her finger, I guess they were able to identify her with the DNA, and oh my God. Oh my God. It's terrible, man. That day was a terrible day. It hurt a lot of families. It hurt a lot of families. It hurt my family too. It hurt a lot of families. Yeah. But you know what it is, Lacey? You hear the horrible stories of what happened that day. But there's a lot more horrible stories that happened years later. Years later. People developed all these health problems, cancer and leukemia and all kinds of other things, respiratory issues, and all because of 9/11. And it's so terrible. It's so effing horrible. Hey, Stephanie St. Clair, how you doing? It's so horrible. I don't know what to say anymore. It's just like, what do you do when you're not happy with your life? Like, that's the key. Like, what do you, like, I'm happy with my children. Listen, I know what you're all going to say. Focus on your kids. And I do. Every day I take my kids out and we have fun. And I'm going to take them out again today. And I do enjoy them. I do enjoy them. But you have to just try to understand that there's a major. She was at work that day, yes, Stephanie. Yes, she was minutes away from entering 2 World Trade Center when it collapsed. And she ran away when the buildings collapsed. They collapsed straight down, but at the time they didn't know. They could have collapsed sideways. Like it was crazy. No, she was there. She was right there, Stephanie. I actually got her on the phone. You want to hear something amazing? Nobody had a reception. Nobody could get anybody on the phone. I got Jennifer on the phone minutes before the World Trade Centers, like, they collapsed. I told her, Jennifer, I said, my God, I said, are you okay? I never forget, she picked up, Richie, you want to laugh? We were actually broken up at the time. That was during that stupid phase of my life. This was 2000. We were broken up for 1 year. But of course, we kept in contact. I always loved Jennifer. She always loved me. That was that stupid time where I wanted to be like Billy Joel. I wanted to go on the road again. I just wanted to be a musician, a full-time musician. And Jennifer was really looking, even at a young age, she wanted to be serious. She wanted to get married, and I wasn't ready for it yet. But still, I cared for her. Oh my God, I loved her. We're talking about my wife, Red Dragon, who passed away recently. She had 10 years battling cancer, and just just how sad and how much cancer sucks. We're talking about 9/11. My wife worked at 2 World Trade Center, which is how she got the cancer, environmentally, unfortunately caused. So that's what the Red Dragon, that's what it's, thank you. Anybody, like I said, it is also a tribute for my wife and our family. I do have a Cash App, no obligation, of course. But anybody, like I said, my wife was only 46 years old, just passed away a couple of weeks ago. We have 2 children who are very young. Michael, who is only 14 years old, Sophia, who's only 11. So if there's anyone out there with a good heart, don't like to help us with, the funeral course, we're finishing up everything on Monday and just helping our family. God bless all of you. Stephanie St. Clair. Lucille said, I don't even know who this person is, said on a post that she was glad Jen never made it into work that day. That's why I asked, no disrespect, but that lady needs to stop spewing false information about Jen. Let me ask you a question, Stephanie. So you were a friend of my wife's? You're a friend of hers? Because I have a lot of people who come to these live streams, and I sometimes don't know that some people that are actually on these live streams are friends of my wife, Jennifer. Like, did you go to school with her? Are you a friend with Jen? Um, there's a lot of crazy people in our lives, Stephanie. There's a lot of crazy people. The biggest person, that's the craziest person that's in our life, is there's this lady. I'm not going to say her name, okay, but for legality purposes, but she winded up going out with Jennifer's. Yes, there's a lot of crazy people in our life. She winded up, look, Jennifer lost her mother, Stephanie, in 2017. Oh my God. Her mother was the greatest, Linda. She was the absolute greatest. She had a very similar passing as my wife had, which is really crazy. Very quick passing. She was okay. She was fine. She ended up falling down, collapsing. And then it was determined she had what's called acute leukemia. And within about 3 to 4 weeks, she passed away. But what was amazing was at the time, Jennifer, God bless Linda, by the way, name of the Father, of the Son, Holy Spirit, amen. The most amazing mom, the most amazing person Linda was, God bless her. The best of the best. Jennifer was going through a tough time in 2017, which she had cancer on her liver at the time. This is when it first spread. Oh, she was a beautiful person. Linda was the best. What an amazing cook, too. I mean, I'm talking about Linda should have been like a world-class chef. She was like we still have a cookbook downstairs. Jennifer used to use it. I got to make Sophia use it now. We have Linda's recipe book. God bless Linda. God bless my wife. In 2017, Jennifer had cancer on her liver, and the doctors didn't think she was going to make it. It was like amazing in a way because she went into septic shock, my wife. They had to put a port in for the chemotherapy. They put a port right here. And she winded up getting an infection, and she went into septic shock. They thought my wife was going to pass away in 2017. The doctors, they told me, they said, Rich, it's not good. Her breathing is very bad. They had her on. They didn't have her on a ventilator, but they had her on very, very high oxygen support, and she wasn't able to move her legs or move any part of her body, and very similar to what she was going through now. It's crazy. But when her mom passed, it was like she was like an angel from heaven. Her mother, she was like an angel. I think she did something, Linda. I don't know what she did. Maybe she spoke to Jesus. She spoke to God. Maybe she said, "Take me, save my daughter," because Jennifer made a miraculous recovery that even the doctors couldn't really quite understand. This was in 2017. My wife made a miraculous recovery when her mother passed away. Isn't that crazy? Like they got the cancer off her liver, they stabilized her, and Jennifer came back. No, I always said that. I said Linda saved her. Her mother Linda saved her. But unfortunately, maybe it was for a certain limited period of time. I don't know. The way Jennifer passed away was very similar to her mother. Stephanie, it's almost when you say it's hard for you to believe. Let's try the word impossible. Okay, Stephanie, it's impossible for me to believe she's gone. Not hard. I wouldn't use the word hard. I wouldn't use the word hard. The word that I would use would be it's impossible. And I'll tell you the reason why. Again, I know you're going to say this to me because I know people, they fight with me. I get that Jennifer had cancer for 10 years. I get it. I know she was fighting the good fight. And I understand all of that. But no one understands that Jennifer was 100% throughout this process. Like after she recovered from her cancer that time in 2017, 70, we went on vacations. We took the kids to Disney. We went to Hershey. We went to Rhode Island. Jennifer was like, those long walks, right? When you have to go to Florida, you go to like SeaWorld, right? You go to like Universal. You go to City Walk. Those are long walks. Like you got to be on your feet. You got to be in good health. Jennifer was doing it. I just want everyone to know that Jennifer was walking those long walks, and not just in 2017, but like even recent day. You would never think she had cancer. You would not like. I started kind of forgetting that my wife had cancer. It was like I kept hearing these terms: stage 4, stage. I remember when I was a young kid, like in Brooklyn, growing up in Brooklyn, right? If somebody would tell me, because in Brooklyn, this is just the way we thought. Okay, seriously, I didn't grow up with people that were like sick or had cancer. So when you hear something like she was a phenomenal lady, Stephanie, but when you hear someone has stage 4 cancer, like if someone would have said that to me in Brooklyn when I was a kid, I'd be like, my God. Like you just think like they're finished. Like you think they're gonna die in like a week or something. You're like, amen. But I've learned that a lot of people have lived with stage 4 cancer for a while. But the problem is, here's what the problem is. It's these effing surgeries. You want to hear what the problem is? I'm not a doctor. And what I'm about to say to all of you, I'm actually saying this to all of you in a way because I love all of you. I'm saying all of this to help you. Okay, so just take this under advisement, but understand this. I'm not a doctor. And what I'm about to say is not medical advice. It's not medical advice. Always do your own homework and always do your own due diligence. And I'm just a guy on the internet. I am not a doctor. It's not medical advice. But I would like to share my experience with you. If it can help you in any way, God bless. But it is certainly not interpreted as medical advice. I believe surgeries is what basically killed my wife. If she never got that mastectomy back in 2016, I think my wife would be, not only would she be 100%, meaning like she would be absolutely no discomforts, no pain. I think she would have lived a long life. I still believe I'm one of the greatest entertainers on earth. Yes, Red Dragon. If not the greatest entertainer, but I'm going through an extremely tough time. Um, Jennifer's cancer was trapped in her breast. It was called the DCIS. That's when she first got diagnosed in 2015. The thing is that the cancer was trapped. It couldn't get out. Thank you, Jose. She's at peace. I'm not at peace, Jose. That's the problem. You know, I love it when people always say this stuff. I'm not trying to be a jerk off, by the way. God bless you, Jose. God bless you and your family. I believe that Jennifer is with her mom, Linda. I believe that Jennifer is in eternal peace. I believe that she's in no more pain. I mean, this is what we want to believe. We hope to believe that she's with her mother and she's in heaven and she's with our beautiful dogs, Rocky and Yogi, in heaven. They're on the Rainbow Bridge. I mean, that's what we all want to believe this. We all want to think that. I mean, Jennifer told me that she saw her mother. You want to hear? She said it. She said, I asked her in the hospital, I said, do you see your mom? She said, yes. I mean, she didn't speak the words yes. She was on a ventilator at the time. She had a tube down her throat, but she nodded yes. And I said, is she an angel? She said, yes. Is she in this room? She said, yes. I said, is this a dream? And she said, no. So Jennifer wouldn't lie about something like that. So I do believe it's true. But this is the thing. On earth, and I don't mean to be selfish. I know I'm selfish. I know I'm selfish. I know you all hate me. I know you all think that I'm a horrible. I didn't want to lose her. I mean, look, I didn't want her to be in pain. I didn't. This is the thing, though. I didn't think she was in pain. Look, I know you all think I'm a psychopath. Look, I just wish that everybody could just believe me. I wish you could just believe me. Okay. You know what it is? When you hear about my wife's condition, I think everyone naturally assumes that Jennifer was like this bedridden, in pain, suffering person, and she wasn't. She wasn't. January 7th, it was our daughter's birthday. She was there at the restaurant with us singing to Sophia, hugging Sophia, kissing me, hugging Mike. We ate a beautiful dinner. She was herself. This happened so fast. And understand, it wasn't even the cancer that really actually led to her passing away. It was this effing pneumonia. The cancer obviously contributed. You know, the cancer, right? The cancer contributed. Thank you, Lacey. Because of obviously the cancer in the brain is what caused Jennifer to have all these other issues, which was she couldn't chew food, she couldn't swallow food. That was probably brain related to the cancer. Um, you know, everything else, this pneumonia that's going around sadly is taking a lot of lives. Stephanie, my mother's got pneumonia right now too. Stephanie, as we're talking right now, my mom is downstairs. She just got out of rehab. My mother is in very bad shape. I'm trying to get her back in rehab because they let her go. The insurance only covers her for 100 days. They had to release Stephanie. My mom is downstairs. She can't move. She's on a recliner. She's got oxygen. She can't. She's in bad shape. God, please pray for my mom as well as Jennifer. My family is going through an insanely difficult time. We got affected by cancer. We got affected by pneumonia in ways that none of you can even possibly understand. Our lives got turned upside down. Our lives got turned upside down. We are in bad shape right now. Just I'm keeping the kids happy. Listen, I'm doing everything I can do. But my God, am I hurt? Am I heartbroken? Am I devastated? Am I in this state of shock? Of course I am. But Stephanie, I wanted to tell you something else. So there's a lot of people in our lives right now that are very unfortunately evil people, Stephanie. There's one lady who winded up dating my wife's father, Jim. She's like the head, this is the head devil here. She's like the head devil, okay? She tricked a man. This is what this despicable excuse of a human being did. She tricked a man who was already heartbroken over the loss of his wife. and at a very vulnerable state, and also who experienced a stroke. He had a stroke. He was out playing golf, and it was very hot, the weather, and he was never the same, Jim, after that stroke. And ultimately, it led to him getting dementia. Jim now has dementia, her father. And just right before, he was at that point where he was getting switching to dementia, he was very cognitively off. She wound up getting this Mickey Mouse POA done. This stupid thing where she removed Jennifer and Jimmy as POAs, had the father sign over the entire, estate to her. Yeah, I mean, but what's happening though, Stephanie, is that this woman is so evil, like you don't understand. Like I reached out to her because she's the power of attorney of Jim, and I was saying to her, listen, it was the father's wishes. It was the father's wishes to pay for Jennifer's funeral expenses. This was all part of his wishes. He spoke about it with us many, many times, and she did not respond. She did not respond to any of my text messages. She did not respond to any of my voicemails that I sent her. This piece of human trash, this human garbage. So what happened was, Stephanie, because I want to tell you a lot of things. Is maybe, are you on Facebook? If you're on Facebook, there's a lot of stuff going on Facebook that maybe you could even know about now, because I just posted a message about this. I saw her recently at a supermarket. This is before Jennifer passed away. And I started screaming at her. I was like, you piece of garbage, you low life. I was like, my wife is on a ventilator. Okay. You're not returning my calls. You're not returning my text messages, you human piece of trash. Okay. So she wasn't calling the police again. I did nothing threatening to her. I didn't threaten her. It's called the First Amendment. It's called freedom of speech. Very evil. She calls the police. The police come over my house just to say, look, you can't harass her, Rich. Unfortunately, you just, if you want to get an attorney, if you want to, if you want to sue her for breaching her fiduciary responsibilities as power of attorney, you could do that. But you can't harass her. I was like, no problem. So I let it go. I just, I stopped texting her, even though it's the most messed up thing in the world. I stopped calling her. So next thing is, I believe she called Child Protective Services. Listen to this, Stephanie. She called Child Protective Services, claiming I'm abusing my children, my wife, also my wife as well. It's unfortunate that there are these agencies out there. Can I tell you something? There's these agencies out there that children truly, truly need. There are children that really, unfortunately, are in very, very horrific situations, and they need these agencies to help them. Okay, but the problem is people like this piece of garbage. They use these agencies as a way to seek revenge. They use these agencies because she didn't like that I cursed at her. She didn't like that I challenged her. So that's what she did. She makes all these claims. I was abusive to Jennifer. I was abusive to my children. Listen, they dropped the case, Stephanie. Child Protective Service, they dropped it. They spoke to the children. The children couldn't tell this lady how much how much we love each other in our family. They were like, "Is your dad good to us? He's the greatest dad in the world. My mother was the greatest." It was recent, yeah. And there's a lot of stuff going around Facebook. A good friend of my wife's, I'm not going to mention her name, but a good friend of my wife's called me up. I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 days ago. And she was telling me that she's receiving messages on Facebook. Listen to this. It's crazy. Are you on Facebook too? Are you Jennifer's friend on Facebook, Stephanie? Are you on Facebook? Are you her friend? I'm just curious. You don't do Facebook, so I guess you do. You must have knew Jennifer from another place. How did you like? If you don't do Facebook, I'm just curious. How did you find out about all of this? Did you know me through like AMC, or did you know me through another? Good morning, William. Like, did you know of me before Jennifer? Like, how did you find out about Jennifer's passing? Or people send you stuff? Well, a friend of Jennifer's apparently is getting messages from people who are ripping me like a new a-hole, Stephanie. They're ripping me a new a-hole. And it's like kind of like stuff like this. It's kind of like stuff like this. You know, Jennifer is not really deceased. This is all some kind of a scam. It's freaking crazy. These are like people, I guess, on Facebook. There's no record of her. Right. There's no record of her passing away. There's nothing online. There's nothing online because we're finishing everything off. We're going to be doing, a lot of stuff. There's going to be a beautiful tribute to Jennifer. Okay. But Williams Tacos say hi. You're funny. We're in a very bad place right now. And we're straightening everything out, but it takes time. But they're sending all these messages all around Facebook to each other. Oh, Jennifer, there's no record of her really passing away. Is this whole GoFundMe thing, was it a scam? You know, then they hear about this stuff with that woman I was telling you about with Jennifer's father. They're like, was Richie abusive to his wife? Oh my God. Was Richie abusive to his children? And these people are Norman Bates psychopaths, okay? You know what I feel like telling these people on Facebook? Here's what I feel like telling them, okay? Rather for you to start your own gossip column, you understand? Why don't you contact me directly? Okay, this is what I would tell them. This is very simple, right? Rather than start your own gossip column, contact me directly and ask me any question that you want. I've been through more than you know, Stephanie. People like to kick you when you're down. You want to know what it is? When I had Jennifer in my life, Stephanie, nothing would stop me. Nothing would hurt me. You want to know why, Stephanie? Because Jennifer was my support system, Stephanie. Jennifer was the light at the end of the dark tunnel. She was my light. So it didn't matter if there were people out there that would, be haters or, internet trolls or, you don't even want to know what people put us through. Stephanie, you want to hear another thing? Someone calls the police the other day. There's just despicable human beings out there. There are human beings that they don't deserve the title. They don't deserve the title human beings. They call the police saying that my mother is sitting in her own shit. I don't want to be gross. And that, they have to do what's called a wellness check. Who knows if this was the same woman with Jennifer's father that I was telling you about before, or if this might have been a psychopath on the internet. Right. So I had the police come here the other day doing a wellness check on my mother. I mean, my God. Could you imagine that you lose your wife, Stephanie? I want you to think about this. You lose your wife. You lose the most important person in your world. And you got all of this other shit you got to contend with. And you know what's really sad? What's really, really sad? This despicable woman that I'm telling you about, convinced Jennifer's father to give her the POA. She's also convinced most of Jennifer's family, which they're all pathetic, her family, Stephanie, her family are pathetic, that she's the good lady. I'm the bad guy. You like the movie Scarface? I'm the bad guy. Say goodnight to the bad guy. Her family, well, I'm going to give you the full truth here, okay? We were never close to Jennifer's family. Jennifer, I'm just going to tell you this is the truth. Jennifer didn't like her family, Stephanie. Jennifer had a really tough childhood. I mean, not from her parents. Look, her father, not the most emotional guy. Good guy, just not really an emotional guy. Like, he was just the type of guy, went to work, did his job, came home. Not really an emotional family, not really there emotionally. But her mother was the greatest. Linda was the best. Her grandma Rose was the greatest. Those were the two heartbeats. They were the two everything of the family. It was Linda and her grandma Rose. Everybody else, she really wasn't that close to. She was close a little bit to her cousin, and when I say a little bit, I shouldn't say that. She was very close to her cousin. She was actually the one that she thought would be out of the whole family, that she thought would be the one that would really come through for all of us, that would be like a second mom. And then she was close to her uncle, in Florida. But you know, I don't know if I mentioned to you what happened, Stephanie. I'll mention it really quick, because I don't want you to lose respect for me. I don't want you to hate me. It's something I regret. Look, when Jennifer passed away, I just want you to understand how much I love Jennifer. I love Jennifer more than life itself. I love Jennifer was my soulmate. Jennifer was everything to me, everything in the world to me. I can't tell you, I'm not myself, Stephanie. I'm heartbroken, Stephanie. I don't think I'm ever going to be the same again. Okay. But at the same time, I wish someone could just understand how shocked I was. I don't know if you've ever experienced this in your life. Have you ever experienced being in such a state of shock that you don't even know if you're in reality anymore? Like you're looking around you thinking you're in the twilight zone. Do you understand? You're like, is this real life? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You understand then, right? Okay. So here's what happened. When my wife passed away, I wasn't myself, Stephanie. Stephanie, me and my kids have been crying for a month and a half straight, watching my wife on a ventilator for 16 days, watching my wife can't move her legs, can't move her toes, not eat any food, Stephanie, for 36 days. They're feeding her through a feeding tube. My wife is dying of thirst, Stephanie. She's pointing to her mouth that she wants me to give her a drink. She wants me to give her food. The doctor said I can't do it. They're like, she'll aspirate, she'll die. Do you know how hard that was for me? If you knew me, which I know you didn't know me well, but if you knew me, food, you can look at all my videos. I have like 30,000 videos of food. Food is the most important thing to me. I fed my wife like a queen. It's like a princess. Do you know how heartbreaking it was for me that I couldn't bring my wife a cup of coffee, Dunkin' Donuts, iced coffee? She loved her iced coffee. I couldn't bring a Palazzo bowl. I couldn't bring her food. I had to watch her with a feeding tube in her. I had to watch her with breathing tubes in her. You know how torturous this was to me? You know how torturous this was to my children, to our children? You know what happens when people experience stuff like this? They lose their minds a little bit. It happens, okay? It's called a little bit of loss of sanity, a temporary loss of sanity. I wasn't myself. I wasn't myself. I think it's justifiable, right? That you understand that. Okay. So Jennifer, my wife, always told me and the kids, reach out to the cousin. She's like a second mom. She's someone. Jennifer didn't get along with her own brother. Her own brother was terrible. I don't want to get into it. This guy cut off his father. He cut off his uncle. He cut off his whole family. Guy's mentally ill, in my opinion. Okay, but I don't want to get into it. Guy hates for no reason. I treated her brother like he was a king. Just doesn't like us for no reason. He's a psycho. Doesn't like. Guy cut off his own father. All right, his mother was dying. The brother went on a vacation. Who does that? Who does it? Your mother is dying in a hospital, right? She's dying. He takes a vacation. He goes on a vacation while she only had a few days left to live. Okay. Jennifer didn't have the greatest family. Jennifer did not have the greatest family. But let's put all that aside for a second. Let's put all of that aside. I call up the cousin. Again, I want to reiterate to all of you. Jennifer said, this is someone I believe would be a second mom, be very close to the kids. We just spent a month and a half crying our eyes out. We're in complete shock. We don't know what's going on. She passes away. We have no idea what's happening. I asked the cousin, first of all, to be fair, she does have a little bit of a condition. You know what I mean? She has a little bit of a condition. I think it's like ADD or something like that. God bless her. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm just stipulating that she does have a little bit of a condition. God bless you, Gavin Wilson. I said to her, look, thank you, Lacey. I said to the cousin, listen, let's go out to Harold's. I took her to Harold's. It's in Edison, New Jersey. The most amazing sandwiches, big, huge pastrami. You get a corned beef, you get a brisket of beef sandwiches. I actually think I want that today. I'm thinking about it, but I love Harold's. Uh, Jennifer loved Harold's too. Jennifer wasn't really a meat eater though. But even though she wasn't a meat eater, she could appreciate how great Harold's was. She also loved their chicken salad there too. She loved their pickles. The pickles there were the best. Oh, Jennifer loved like pickles. We used to go to Del Rio Diner in Brooklyn, the best pickles. Harold's had probably the second best pickles. She loved diner food, my wife. Oh, she loved the diner. God bless her. So she could appreciate Harold. So I took the cousin to Harold's, and here's what happened. We had a wonderful, wonderful dinner. I paid for it, of course. I've been treating her cousin, by the way, for 27 years, just so everybody understands. Her cousin has never paid for one single dinner. I treated her with the most utmost respect. I used to always do everything for her cousin. And she'll admit the truth to you. If you ever spoke to her, she'll say, Richie, for 27 years, treated me with tremendous respect, always treated me great, never, ever let me pay for anything. Okay. So at the end of the dinner, later on that night when the kids went to sleep, I called her. So I said to her, listen, to me, it might have been a day after now I'm thinking about it. This is how shot I am. I can't really pinpoint the exact. I know I said this when the kids were not around. They were sleeping. I just remember that. I wouldn't want, I wanted it to be just a conversation. I said to her, look, Jennifer really thought the highest of you. She looked at you like a second mom. You think that you would like to be in their lives, like, more consistently, really spend a lot of time with them if you could. She said, yes. Okay. I just said to her like this. I regret it. Everybody knows. They've heard me. I said, who knows? 3, 4 years down the road, maybe something would develop for us, maybe feelings or something. Okay. Now let's talk about that for a second because a lot of people have ripped me up over this. I want to be crystal, crystal clear to everybody. Crystal, crystal clear. I was not myself. Does I wish the cousin would understand this. I witnessed a month and a half of chaos, of my wife being on a ventilator, of my wife not being able to eat, drink. Oh my God, this is this guy from the funeral home getting back to me now. Oh, I have to actually cremate my wife now. Great. I have no choice. I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. I have to cremate my wife. Oh, I was hoping to do maybe something else, but she wanted to do the cremation. I'm so heartbroken. I'm so effing heartbroken, man. But I wasn't myself. I wasn't myself. She doesn't want to forgive me for this stupid comment that I said. She's so angry, her cousin, even though she knew me for 27 years. I never was disrespectful to her. I never did anything disrespectful to her. She's so angry that like literally, she wasn't even talking to Sophia for the longest time. Sophia was like sad that, obviously, as you can imagine, she's traumatized losing her mother. She's trying to reach out to her cousin. The cousin wasn't even responding to her. Recently now she started responding to Sophia. Recently. But she's still talking the same crazy shit. Like, I am so angry at your father. I will never talk to him. Stephanie, Jennifer was a very private person. Okay. She was. Jennifer was a quiet girl. It took me a lot of years. I changed her. Later in life, she became a very, very emotional. Like Jennifer came from another emotional family. I'm not trying to be, look, she was a quiet girl. Jennifer, see, we were opposites attract. I'm not quiet. I mean, you can see this, okay? Jennifer was more to herself. She was more private. She kept very important emotions, very important things to herself. So I'm not sure if she ever had that conversation with her cousin, if you want me to tell you the truth. I think she mentioned that. She said, please spend time with my kids. Please be a part of their lives. But I don't think that she got specific. But Jennifer was, this is the thing. She was quiet to everybody else, but she was not quiet to me and the kids. And Jennifer expressed this to us. Okay, she expressed this to us. Now, you would think the cousin would trust in us. I guess she doesn't, whatever. She did express this to me. I assumed that she spoke to the cousin about it, but I'm not sure anymore. The cousin is saying she didn't have that talk. She's saying that Jennifer didn't tell her this, but she did tell me this, and she told Sophia. She told her daughter. She said, I just want all of you to know that if something did happen to me, I considered a cousin to be someone who would really be a great second mom and should really, really spend a lot of time with you and all this stuff. Look. So again, I wanted to apologize to her, Stephanie. You want to know what I wanted to do? I just wanted to tell her, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Mostly not to her. Not to her, but just because I love my wife so much, and I didn't mean any disrespect. I was shocked. Jennifer was the greatest. But Stephanie, I love my wife. I love Jennifer more than life itself. I just want you to understand that. I want you to understand that Jennifer was my everything. And like I said, the thing I told the cousin was nothing like in terms of recent time. And it was a hypothetical. It was also, does everyone know what the word hypothetical means? Does everyone know like what maybe means? Meaning it may never happen. Meaning it may never, ever, ever happen. And again, I was not of my right state of mind. I was not of sound mind. I was shot. I lost my whole world. I lost my mind. I wasn't right. I just, like when you go to court, like, did you ever hear people where they plead insanity and they get off? No, let's say someone does something, right? Whatever it is, something crazy, but they plead insanity and they get off. You know what I'm talking about? I plead insanity to this, okay? I plead insanity. I wasn't myself. I plead insanity. That's the truth. I wasn't myself. After thinking about it, for a few days, I started calming myself down. I realized it was inappropriate. I shouldn't have done it. I was like, what was I thinking? You know what I was thinking? When we were at Harold's, the kids were smiling for the first time in a month and a half of complete chaos. I was smiling for the first time after complete chaos. It felt like a good situation. I can't explain it. I thought of my wife's words. This would be a great second mom. Unfortunately, a lot of the world doesn't understand unless they are the ones going through it. But Stephanie, you would think, okay, hold on a second. I understand what you're saying, but you would think that like this person, right, who knew me for 27 years. I mean, is that a long time? Who would agree that 27 years is a long time? Right? That's not a short period of time. You're talking over a quarter of a century. That's a long effing time. In 27 years that I have known the cousin and my wife, I have been a complete, utter gentleman. A gentleman. I never, ever, was disrespectful to her cousin. I was always kind to her. I was always respectful to her. I treated her great her whole life. Never made her pay for a dinner. Invited her to our home, baking cookies with the kids. Complete, beautiful, beautiful fun times, right? Thank you, Stephanie. I made one mistake in a period of 27 years where I think it was a justifiable reason why I made the mistake. I don't know, just lost my whole world, just lost everything that I had, everything that was good to me, everything that was the most important thing to my heart and my whole well being and my children's well being. And we've been crying as a family for a month and a half, watching my wife suffer. I think it was justifiable. Okay. You know what I wanted? Stephanie, she should know how you are. Just blunt, nothing wrong with that. You want to know what it is? But when you say blunt, okay, listen, it's not like I said to her, like this would be blunt.
You want to hear blunt? This would be blunt. I believe, as my wife believed, you would be a great second mom, okay, for the kids, and I think you should do it. That's pretty blunt, right? I think you should step in, kind of try to fill Jennifer's shoes here and become a second mom. Now, that to me, that's being like, that's no hold barred, right? That's like directly to the point. Okay, that's not what I said, Stephanie. That's not what I said. What I said was a hypothetical. What I said was an if and a maybe. And I said 3 to 4 years from now. Again, I want to repeat this to everybody. I didn't say, oh, in the next couple of days, let's be in some kind of an intimate or whatever relation. No, no. I said hypothetical. After spending 3 to 4 years, this is exactly what I said. After spending 3 or 4 years together with me, the kids, and I said, is that you want to laugh? I still didn't even make it indefinite. Like, it's not like I said after 3 or 4 years, we will 100% definitely be in some form of a relationship. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But listen to me, the boss lady. I think she was assuming we meant that. No one will ever be Jennifer. Nobody would ever be Jennifer. There's only one mom. There's only one Jennifer, and no one will ever replace her. No one on earth could ever replace her. But oh God, I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Let's just leave it at this. It was a stupid thing to say, but it was. He's funny, Red Dragon. No, no, Stephanie. I know you. Listen to me, Stephanie. I know that you're. Let me just stop you and say you're a beautiful person, Stephanie. You are a beautiful, beautiful person, and I know what you're saying. I know that in other words, she should just know my personality. You're right. I know what you're saying. Look, Jennifer, of course, is number one. Jennifer is number one, and nobody will ever replace Jennifer. Hey, what's up, femboy? Not really having a better day, but God bless you. Getting calls from the future director. I have to make decisions here, which I'm doing. I'm finishing everything up. That's another conversation we could have. I am having nightmares over this whole process of cremation. I'm having nightmares. This has been so hard on me. I'm doing it. It's done, but my God, I just can't believe this is real. Once again, I feel like I'm in an altered reality. I'm in an altered reality, and everything is done. We're finishing off probably by Monday. It's all going to be done, and we'll take Jennifer home with us, and we'll have a beautiful pictures and a beautiful tribute set up for her forever and ever. She's going to be in our hearts. I just don't want to think about it right now because I'm going to cry. I'm going to get very emotional. I don't really want to think about it. But the thing is this, just to end it with the cousin, I have tried to reach out to her a million times. Like literally, I was like rage texting her. You want to know why? Because I wanted this to be resolved before I cremated my wife. Okay, this girl has the nerve to tell me I was disrespectful to my wife. This is what she says to me. She says to me, I was disrespectful. Can you imagine that I have to cremate my wife and she's putting this in my head and she's putting this in my heart? I was never unfaithful to Jennifer my whole life. I treated Jennifer like a queen. I was never unfaithful. I was only the most loving, supportive husband. I stood by her side with cancer from day one. I was with her with every treatment, with every operation, with every surgery, with every doctor's appointment. When Jennifer was in the hospital, I was there every day. Seriously, every night. I went there, asked the kids. I went there like 2 times, sometimes 3 times a day. The night before she passed away, I held her hand. I slept with her in the hospital. I was at the hospital like 10 hours sleeping with her. I had my head on her chest. I was sleeping with her. For her cousin to say that I was disrespectful to my wife, it made me insane, even further insane now. And that's why I rage texted her. She got very, that's it. She said, it's very scary how someone could text me like 200 times over a week or whatever. Well, you want to know why it happened? Because you don't effing respond. That's why it happened. You don't respond. Okay? How dare you? How do you think it feels? How dare you that I have to cremate my wife and you're trying to make it like I'm a bad husband, you piece of garbage? Seriously, I'm pissed. Okay? You make a comment like that. I didn't disrespect. I asked Sophie, did I disrespect Bob? Sophie said, absolutely not. I asked Michael. He said, no. He said, Dad, you were looking out for our best interest. That's what you were doing. Mom wanted this. Mom told you to call her cousin. And the cousin is acting like a psychopathic Norman Bates. That's it. Now, granted, she does have a condition. Again, I don't want to keep repeating it. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but she has a condition. But again, it's not just limited to her family. It's not just limited to her. Her whole family are psychos. Her brother's a psycho. Okay, never even reached out to my wife with cancer. Doesn't want to be by her side, support her. Nothing. Just completely disowned her. There's a lot of problems in her family. Her uncle Joe turned out to be a real psychopath. Stephanie, you want to know what it is? You want to know why I'm mentioning it so much, and I will stop. I'm going to explain it to you, Stephanie. The reason why I'm mentioning it so much is because I have to. She is crazy, but I have to cremate my wife now. It's happening, and she just what she did was she put a dagger, Stephanie, in my heart. People are kicking me when I'm at my lowest, Stephanie. People are kicking me at my lowest. They're kicking me at my lowest, and um, and that's what they're doing. They're kicking me at my lowest, telling me I disrespected my wife. Right before I'm about to cremate her, you say this to me? And you want to know what the ironic thing, Stephanie, would have been? Unfortunately, femboy, you're right. Nothing would have even happened. This is what our cousin doesn't even understand. It would have been we would have got together once a month. Just she wanted to do this. We would have got together once a month. Probably saw a movie, went to a dinner, Broadway play, whatever. And in no way, shape, or form would I have ever tried anything disrespectful. I would have just been a complete gentleman. Like I said, I was referring to 4 years plus down the road. That there may or may not even be a possibility of anything developing. So, but anyway, it's over. You want to know what it is, Stephanie? This is supposed to be family, though. It's like, look, there's a lot of douchebags out there, but you would think family, man. You would think that like family would say to themselves, "My God, you know, like Richie and the kids, Sophie and Mike, they just lost their beautiful, the wife, them, the mother of his children, the mother of their children." They'd be a little sympathetic, a little compassionate. Not to mention, my mother is suffering. My mother is going through tough times, where she's on, she's off the what do you call pneumonia? Excuse me. I think she recovered from it, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she recovered from it because she doesn't look like she recovered. They said that to me at the rehab. They said she recovered from pneumonia. It don't look that way to me. She can't move. She can't walk. She's breathing on oxygen. She's all like messed up. She fell twice. Red Dragon, I'm going to join the gym. I am. But thank you for seeing my side, brother. Thank you for seeing my side. I am going to be joining the gym. So, anyway, where I'm at now is I have to finalize everything with my wife now. I'm, look, I can't explain this to all of you because I think all of you would think I'm a psychopath, but I know my wife is gone, but I still can't accept it. I know all of you are going to think I'm crazy. I know it. I know it. I know it. You're all going to say this guy is out of his mind. I know she's gone. I know she passed away, but I'm still in denial. I'm still in doubt. I simply can't believe this is real. I simply cannot believe that the world I'm living in is real. I just can't. I feel like somehow I got into some kind of a wormhole. Like, you ever watch The Twilight Zone or some shit? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I feel like somehow I was transferred to another dimension or something where it's like the Tales from the Dark Side. You ever see the show Tales from the Dark Side? I feel like I'm in an altered reality where it's like it seems like reality, but it's not reality. And I'm saying to myself, is there a way I could somehow get back to reality where my Jennifer is with me again and my Jennifer is here? But that's not going to happen, I don't think. And I think what's happening is now I have to finalize all of this, which I'm going to do. And I'm going to cremate my wife again. This was her wishes. She said that she wanted it. And I'm going to bring her ashes home. And we're going to set up a beautiful, beautiful tribute to her. And I'm never going to see my wife again. And I'm never going to hold her again. And I'm never going to speak to her again. Stephanie, Jennifer's family is dysfunctional, oh, big time. I hate that they just couldn't respect Jennifer enough to put differences aside for Jennifer's passing. Super sad. They're also doing it to our kids, though. Stephanie, you would think like her Uncle Joe, example, right? In Florida, would say to himself, look, I don't even know what his problem is with me. I mean, he was insulting me and insulting me and degrading me, like in so many ways. Like, what do you do? How do you make money? What is your deal? What is this? What is that? Like crazy mother effer, man. Look, I don't want to get into personal business, but I'll just say this very quickly. We had to put the house in my mother's name, okay, because of family reasons. Jennifer had cancer. Jennifer had very, very expensive, treatments. Chemotherapy cost $75,000 a pop. Surgeries cost hundreds of thousands. I don't want to get into specifics, but there were certain things I had to do. You know, well, Jennifer, Jennifer's, I don't want to get really into the Stephanie, but over the years, that Jennifer's insurance, you have to try to understand, was paying for her treatments. Do you understand what that means? If the house was in Jennifer's name, they take it away, Stephanie. I don't want to get into I don't want to get into technicals. You're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of treatments. You know what I mean? So, with that said, I couldn't really live a normal life myself with Jennifer. You want me to tell you all the truth? I worked in sales for a long period of time, but that was before Jennifer had cancer. I had a sales career for a long time. Okay, but once 2000 and really I would say it started in 2017. I couldn't really do sales anymore. I stopped. I stopped. So I was working, I would say, up until about 2017 in sales. And that's when it really started where, no, but I just want to explain, like, I just want to explain to people because people think I'm some kind of a bum. I worked in sales for 20 years. I worked in sales my whole life. You know what I mean? I worked very hard for Jennifer and my children my whole life. But once Jennifer really got stage 4 cancer, people don't understand because once again, Stephanie said it great. People have to walk in your shoes before they understand you. So the uncles try to make it like I'm some kind of a bum. There was a few times that Jennifer's father helped us out. Why did I stop? Again, Stephanie, look, maybe you don't understand this because, and I'm not trying to be rude to you. I hope you don't get mad at me. When you have someone in your family who has cancer, listen to me, and you're dependent on their insurance. You understand what I'm trying to say? You are fully, fully dependent on their insurance. You have to do things in your life. You have to do preparations in your life to make sure nothing will ever get in the way of that insurance. You understand what I'm trying to say? So if you make a certain income and you lose that insurance, that's not a good thing. You understand what I'm trying to say? If you have to make preparations because I'm explaining it to you. The priority was Jennifer's health. The priority was Jennifer's insurance. The priority was making sure Jennifer could consistently get the treatments that she needed for a very, very long period of time. So that's it. I don't want to like get into it anymore. Please just trust me on that. I did things that I had to do, okay, to keep that going for her. That's it. I kept my wife healthy. I kept my wife getting treatments. In order for me to do this, I couldn't really live anymore a standard traditional life. People don't understand. I couldn't live a standard traditional life anymore. So I had to do things in a way where I still worked and I did what I had to do, but I had to do it in a different way. And that's all. I'm a musician, I'm a piano player. People don't know, but from 2017, I had piano students. I was doing a lot of things music, gigs. I got into YouTube. Well, we're going to make preparations for that now, Red Dragon. We're going to make preparations for that now. Now we could do it, but before we couldn't. But like the uncle, that's what I'm saying. He's making all these like claims on me, like I'm some kind of a bum. You know what the funny thing is? No, but you know what? Thank you, Stephanie. You know what the funny thing is that her uncle doesn't know. I gave her father back a lot of the money he gave us. Like I'll give you an example, right? We were in a restaurant one time, and he was with that evil mother effer that I was telling you about, Stephanie, right? The woman that made him sign over POA. I go to Jim. Now this was like, he didn't really quite have dementia yet. He was still somewhat okay. I went to Jim. I pull out $5,000 in cash. No, you're right. I love Billy Joel. I had a Billy Joel tribute for many years. I should probably start it up again, right? Um, I went to Jim with 5,000 in cash, and she saw it, by the way. The woman, the evil woman I was telling you about. I put it in his hands. I said, Jim, take this. He was like in shock. It was like this whole load of hundreds. I said, take the 5,000. You know how many times I paid this guy back? This is what our Uncle Joe in Florida doesn't want to understand. Okay. You know how many times I was in a restaurant with Jim? I paid for him. Like it was a $400 dinner. Jim, it's on the house. It's on me. I paid for him. He came to my house for barbecues, $500 barbecues. I paid for it. You know how many times we were in Atlantic City? I was winning one night, right? It was me, Jim, and that woman I was telling you about, and Jennifer. I'm winning. Every time I was winning, I went to Jim. I gave him money. Every time I was at Jim, I said, here's $500. He was at my house. Here's $1,000. See, now, this is the type of thing, unfortunately, that nobody will know about because I did this private. It was a private thing I did between me and him in cash. This was, I was trying to explain this to the brother too. One time we spoke about it because the brother was like, I heard that my father helped you out a few times. Like, he was just jealous. He was jealous. I don't think the father ever did it for him, He was just jealous. I mean, but I gave him back a lot of money, the father. And I tried to explain that to the brother. I said, look, but Jennifer had cancer. The father wanted to help her. It was up to the father. It was the father's decision. Okay. So the uncle really tried to come across like I was a bum. Like that was he calls me up. He's like, what, he's like, what kind of a man, what kind of a man takes money from the father? This like what the F is going on with you, man? What's going on with you? This was years ago, Red Dragon. This was years ago. Many years ago. Look, we had a small apartment in Staten Island. You understand? And it was a tough time for us. Jennifer had cancer. My parents got divorced. My mother moved out of my father's house. She moved in with us, Red Dragon. I had a small, tiny apartment in Staten Island where my mother was living with me, Jennifer, my two kids, two dogs. It was friggin' chaos. It was chaos, man. Tough times. Tough times at Richmond High. And look, it doesn't really make a difference though. There were times even, where the father helped us recently. Red Dragon, I lost hundreds and hundreds of thousands in AMC. I made a mistake. People make mistakes, right? You realize that no one's perfect in this world, right? People make mistakes. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in the stock market. I made a mistake. I admit it to all of you. I messed up bad. There were times he helped us in recent times. I just want to be clear. Sanitation worker, right? I'm just saying to you that nobody's perfect in this world. I did the best I could do under my circumstances. Okay, that's it. You know what's funny is that all of you don't want me to beat me up, like beat myself up when it comes to Jennifer. You all say, well, you did everything you could do. Don't be too hard on yourself. You understand what I'm trying to say? Don't be too hard on yourself. You know what it is, Red Dragon? My mind is not right right now. Like honestly, for money talk. Look, I'm not there yet, brother. I just lost my wife. When you lose your wife, brother, when you lose the most important person in your life, the last thing you want to think about is cryptocurrency, stocks. You're just not there, man. I'm sorry. I'm just not mentally there right now. I'm sorry. Can't even talk about it, man. I can't even talk about it. Maybe one day soon, when my head clears, I'll get back into that again. I'll get my head back into that. But you have to understand, my whole world collapsed, man. My whole world collapsed. We're struggling. We're struggling in a lot of different ways. I love you, Lacey. And before you go, if anybody would like to help us out during the hardest time in our lives, remember, this is the cash app here. $ Richard Lavoie, RICHARDLEV as in Victor OI. This is my cash app. A very small contribution helps a family going through an immensely difficult time. We just lost my beautiful wife, Jennifer. My mother is not doing well with pneumonia. She's downstairs. She's can't really walk, can't move, fell twice. We're going through a difficult time. No, I hit the lotto in 2019. I don't know if you knew that, but I hit $250,000 on the pick four. So that's how I did it. Okay. Any other questions, Red Dragon? Any other questions? I love it how people ask all these questions. God forbid you gave like a $5 soup, a $5 cash app or a $10 cash app, to help my family during the most difficult time of our lives, like the most difficult time in our lives. But you keep. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just that, like, can I just give you some friendly advice, Red Dragon? I'm going to give you some friendly advice, and I don't care if you get mad. Okay. There's only one or two ways you could go about a situation when someone is going through an immensely hard time, like me. Okay. Like if you forget me for a second, let's say you talk to a friend of yours, or let's say you talk to a family member, and let's say they are going through the hardest, difficult times in their lives. They lost their wives, the grandmother, the mother is very sick, very ill, can't walk, can't move on oxygen. Okay. There's only one or two ways that you can handle it. The one way, I'm not going into anything else with you. The one way is you could be supportive and you could help them. The second way, you ever hear that song by Ariana Grande? Shut your mouth. That's the only two ways you could do it. That's the only two ways you could do it. Okay. I'm gonna have to get rid of you now, brother. Don't take this the wrong. You gotta go. You understand why you gotta go, right? Because you're acting like a jerk off. You're acting like a jerk off. And I don't know why. I don't get it, but get lost. I just don't understand why people have to be such mean mother effers, man. I don't understand it, man. It's like, my God. I don't get it. No human compassion, no empathy, no sympathy. And that's why my life will never be the same without my Jennifer. Because she was my everything. When I had Jennifer, I didn't care about all this. You see, all this hate, all this stuff, it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me at all because I had my Jennifer. Now I have to end this live stream and I have to talk to a funeral director about cremating my wife. Because they're just heartless, Stephanie. Heartless, cold-hearted people, man. They get a high off. They get a high off your tragedy. Thank you, Kyle. I love the Brooklyn song. Brooklyn was my whole life. You know, we'll do a little bit of the Brooklyn song for Kyle. Hold on. I don't know if I could sing it right now. I have to take a shower. My throat's a little sore today. But we'll do it for Kyle. Let's do the Brooklyn song. I always like to do the Brooklyn song and then Brooklyn Funk. They're my two Brooklyn songs. Brooklyn Funk is like an instrumental jazz piece. All original music I wrote. Here's for Kyle. Grew up on the Coney Island side. Hot dogs and Nathan's and a cyclone for a ride. Cruising down 86th Street. Got my windows open, blasting music with a beat. Oh, Cal. Oh, he's so great, this guy. I love this guy. Thank you so much. I saw that. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. Let's do that again from the beginning. Grew up on the Coney Island side. Hot dogs and Nathan's and the cyclone for a ride. Cruising down 86th Street. Got my windows open, blasting music with a beat. Saturday night at Bay Ridge. My throat is shot, Kyle. Let me do that again. I'm crying all night, Kyle. You know what it is? I think I'm messing up my throat because I'm going to be honest with you. I've been crying all night. I'm crying all night long for Jennifer. I'm not myself, Kyle. I'm not myself, man. Let's do that again. Grew up on the Coney Island side. Hot dogs and Nathan's and a cyclone for a ride. Cruising down 86th Street. Got my windows open, blasting music with a beat. Saturday night at Bay Ridge. Picked up a girl and made out under the Verrazano Bridge. Late night food at Del Rio Diner. Nothing makes me feel finer than good old Brooklyn. On my mind, only Brooklyn. One of a kind. I want Brooklyn to always be home to me. Build it up. Lunchtime's the best at John's Deli. Dinner time's the best. It's morning gardens and the beat. Summertime at the 18th, there in a feast all night. Christmas time, seen all the mansions lit up at Docker Heights. It don't get better than this.
your fingertips. Don't need a car, all you need is a step away. Just take a walk, be swept away by good old Brooklyn. On my mind, only Brooklyn, one of a kind. I want Brooklyn to always be home to me. Little piano solo. The air train's passing by. Took my girl to a movie at the UA in Sheepshead Bay. Got a coffee and cannoli, cappuccinos on the bay. Nothing beats Sundays in Bensonhurst. Mom's Italian cooking, on my list is always first. If I could travel all around the world, I am sure there are places I would love to see. Nothing compares to my hometown. There is no other place I would rather be. Good old Brooklyn on my mind. Only Brooklyn, one of a kind. I want Brooklyn to always be home to me. That's for Kyle. L&B Spumoni Gardens. I'm sorry, my throat's a little shot. You know, crying a lot. Devastated over the loss of my wife, Jennifer. Completely devastated. If anybody would be cool, like Kyle, and would like to contribute a small cash app to our family during our greatest hurt, our greatest time of need, my cash app is the $ Richard Lavoie. Remember, it's very easy to install cash app. It's very easy. It's a very easy thing. Let me get rid of this psycho here. The cash app is also pinned on the bottom. It's if you look at the pinned comment with Marine Park Enzo, you'll see it's the $ Richard Lavoie. I'll show it to you one last time. It's the $ Richard Lavoie. That's my cash app. $RICHARD LEV as in Victor OI. There's no space, no underscore in between my first and my last name. Small entertainment tip from your heart, helping a family going through an extremely difficult time. Just lost my beautiful wife, Jennifer, the love of my life, the mother of our 2 beautiful children. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking situation. My mother is also dealing with a very hard time with her health. It's, I just don't know how I'm going to get through this, man. Jennifer was my everything. She was everything to me. You don't understand. She was everything, man. Look, I love my kids, you know that, and I'm always going to be there for them, but it's not the same without Jennifer. It's like, you know, the kids need her. They need their mom, you know, and I understand what you're going to say. What are you going to do? It is what it is, but that's why I need support. You know, that's why, you know what it is? I need love. I need support. I don't get it from Jennifer's family. I don't get nothing from them. But hopefully I could get it from you. You know, I could get it from all of you because we need a lot of love. We need a lot of support. And honestly, you guys are really all I got.
my YouTube community. You guys are all I got. And to be honest with you, I don't know if my channel is going to change for a while. A lot of people ask me, they're like, Rich, are you going to get back into stocks? I don't think so. Honestly, I think my channel is going to be a lot to do with music, my original songs. It's going to be a lot to do with just talking about my wife and trying to grieve and trying to get better, which I don't know if it may take the rest of my life, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm ever going to get over this. Let's do a little Brooklyn funk. I met Jennifer in Brooklyn, New York. God bless you, Jennifer. This is all original music, by the way. This is all music I wrote. Brooklyn funk, baby. Brooklyn funk. Those are my two songs about Brooklyn, New York. Like I said, if anybody out there will have the good heart to help our family right now at a time of need, it is the $ Richard Lavoie. Thank you, Kyle. $ Richard Lavoie, RICHARDLEVOI. That is my Cash App. I greatly appreciate any support. Kyle was really cool to give $25. You know, if people would be just as cool as Kyle, it would be an amazing thing. Just lost my beautiful wife, Jennifer. My mom is not doing well with her health, also dealing with pneumonia. Thank you, Kyle. I wish everybody was good like you, man. I wish everybody was as good-hearted as Kyle. I get people from time to time that are good people, Kyle. It all depends on the live stream, you know. Let's do Everybody's Got Problems. This is like a song, I was thinking of Michael Jackson when I wrote this, you know. I was like, I can't dance. Don't ask me to do the moonwalk. Don't ask me to do the moonwalk. But I was thinking of Michael Jackson when I wrote this song. Everybody's Got Problems, original song. Richie Lavoie, aka the Apefather. before your eyes. Everybody's got problems, losing your job, kissing it goodbye. Everybody's got problems you can't hide. You can't hide. Life could beat you up a bed. It's easy to just give up. Don't get knocked down, you gotta get mad. Fight back and be the one standing up when your love ends before your eyes. Everybody's got problems, losing your job, kissing it goodbye. Everybody's got problems you can't hide. You can't hide. I know you're hurting and you don't believe tomorrow will be a better day. It's up to you. You gotta believe you have the power to make all your troubles go away when your love ends before your eyes. Everybody's got problems, losing your job, kissing it goodbye. Everybody's got problems you can't hide. When your love ends before your eyes, everybody's got problems, losing your job, kissing it goodbye. Everybody's got problems you can't hide. Everybody's got problems you can't hide. I know everybody's going through a lot of things, but if you could find it in your heart, oh my God, I just saw 9 likes and 11 dislikes, 9/11. Amen. If you can find it in your heart to help me out with an entertainment tip, Cash App is the $ Richard Lavoie, RICHARDLEVOI. I'd appreciate it. An entertainment tip to help a family going through the hardest times of their lives. Just lost my beautiful wife, Jennifer. 46 years old, young, mother of our 2 children, Sophia only 11, Michael only 14. My mother's dealing with pneumonia too, not doing well. We're not doing well. We got hit too hard. We got hit way too hard. And I don't know how I'm going to handle it. My children are handling it, and I'm staying strong for them. I'm making sure that they have a happy life, but my life is not happy anymore.
I just need a lot of love. I need a lot of support. And I'm not really getting it from Jennifer's family, I will tell you that. We're not getting it from them. So hopefully I could get it from all of you. I'll finish off with one song and then I'm going to call it a day for now. We'll do some more work later. I don't know what I want to do. What do I want to do? I'm a New Yorker. You know, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Originally, I live in the Jersey Shore now. I love Stevie Ray Vaughan. I don't know if anybody, he's the greatest guitarist that ever lived, baby. From Texas, man. Man, he's the best. He was the best. Stevie Ray Vaughan passed away, unfortunately, in a helicopter crash. It was the most saddest thing. I was crying that day, too. He's so sad. One of the greatest losses, greatest blues rock guitarist, in my opinion, that ever lived. Right up there with Hendrix. So I was trying to write a blues song like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Double Trouble. And I came up with this vibe. I was thinking of him when I wrote this, I was thinking of like a... So I was thinking of Stevie Ray. And don't ask me why, but the lyrics turned into I'm a New Yorker, right? Not really about Texas. I left my exes in Texas. But it was really based on a Texas Roadhouse blues type of vibe, This is an original song, I'm a New Yorker. Richie Lavoie, a.k.a. the Apefather. I'm a New Yorker. Nothing's gonna stand in my way. I'm a New Yorker. Fighting the best traffic every day. Got places to go, people to see. Every second counts in New York City. I'm a New Yorker. Need a lot of cash to get by. I'm a New Yorker. My dreams limits are to the sky. Gotta be the best, can't settle for less if you're gonna make it in New York City. Little piano solo blows you away. I'm a New Yorker. I wanna see my face on billboards. I'm a New Yorker. My name in lights is my reward. Hard work and determination, sacrifice and motivation. Going to do what it takes. I'm a New Yorker. I'm determined to reach the top. I'm a New Yorker. I have to keep moving and never stop. This city never sleeps, neither do I. Gotta keep working hard until I die to make it. I'm a New Yorker. I can't stop until I make it in New York. I'm a New Yorker. I can't stop until I make it in New York. a New Yorker, baby. Uh, once again, small entertainment tip would be greatly appreciated. That's my Cash App. $ Richard Lavoy, $RICHARD, LEV as in Victor, OI, no space, no underscore in between my first and last name. God bless all of you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Kyle, I love you, Kyle. Have a great day, man. Stephanie, I love you. Have a great day. Thank you for all your help and support. I'll be back. That's the Cash App, by the way. Anything, even small, would be greatly appreciated to help my family in our time of need. Thank you.